What up, mother flowers? It's me, it's Steve. I'm back at with a new video. Thank you for watching this video, tuning in back into the channel. If you're new here, mother flower, hit that sub button down below. Give this video a big old thumbs up. Also, mother flowers, share this video throughout your entire social media. Also, while you're at it, you can follow me on Twitter at HeelSteven, where I tweet throughout all these shows: Raw, SmackDown Live, NXT, Impact Wrestling, and above all else, with all you crazy, sick, twisted mother flowers out there. So, this is obviously, the title below says, my Impact Wrestling review for August 9th, 2018. Impact was last night. I caught the replay because I came back from work a little late, so I kind of missed the live version on Pop TV. So I caught the replay, if you will, and I thought the show overall, if you want my honest opinion, was a very, very solid show. It had a great main event between Eddie Edwards and Austin Aries for the world title. With the crazy ending, Austin Aries had a very killer plan, if you will, all along, and had a good match between Pentagon Jr. and Matt Sydal. But again, I thought the show, in all honesty here, was a very, very solid show. There's stuff that I kind of scratched my head to a little bit, but nonetheless, it was solid, but more importantly, it was consistent, which is important as well, if you ask me. But as always, mother flowers, I want to hear from you in the comment threads below. Give me your thoughts on Impact. If you enjoyed it, if you did not enjoy it, give me your thoughts, or if not, let me know on Twitter. Before I get into this review, I want to let you all know that this coming Sunday, I will be doing a Q&A on this channel. So down below in the description box, there's a link that will direct you to a video where I announce the Q&A. In the comment threads of that video, I want you to send me in your questions. You can ask me whatever you want. 3 questions per person. Just keep that in mind, all right? So Impact this week started off with a brawl between LAX and the OGs. They were fighting, where Impact's doing their tapings in Toronto in the Rebel nightclub. If I'm saying it wrong, I apologize. But they were brawling, what have you. I thought overall it was random, but not random in a bad way, random in a cool way. It's different. I started with a brawl. Why the fuck not? Right? Just showing these guys just fighting each other all over the area, what have you, where they're doing the tapings. Again, a random way to start the show, but not in a bad way. And then we had a match. We had a tag team match between the Desi Hit Squad versus Petey Williams and Taiji Ishimori. As you all know, like 2 weeks ago, it was Taiji Ishimori versus Petey Williams, where at the end of the match, the Desi Hit Squad just came out and randomly attacked Ishimori and Petey Williams. For that, we have the match here. I thought the match, in all honesty, was a solid match to kick off the show. Now, you already know my stance. For me, the Desi Hit Squad, they don't connect with me. They really don't. They're just there, whatever. You know what I mean? Gama Singh is his fuck that beats the fuck out of his kids or his students, whether they win, whether they fucking lose. It doesn't fucking matter. You're going to get a fucking beating. But the match overall, again, I thought it was a solid match. A good way to kick off the show. My only critique is this. And again, you might think I'm, reaching, what have you, but this is my honest opinion again. The finish of the match. Now listen, I have no problem with Petey Williams and Taiji Ishimori getting the win. I thought it made sense, believe it or not. The problem, however, is they used Petey Williams to hit the Canadian Destroyer as a setup move. To me, that's like a no-no. And then Taiji, his finisher, got the 1-2-3. I remember years ago when I was watching early TNA, and Petey Williams was part of Team Canada. And one thing about Petey Williams that stood out for me was the finisher, his finishing move, which was the Canadian Destroyer, which was literally a flip pile driver that he would do on the opponent. The likes of AJ Styles, Chris Sabin, Alex Shelley, Sanjay Dutt, Matt Bentley. I'm going way back with that name, I know. You kind of get the idea, right? He would hit this move, and it was it. It was over with. It's done, right? And I remember seeing it for the first time, like, holy shit, what a fucking move, right? And I remember showing that move to friends who didn't even watch wrestling, right? I showed them the YouTube video in the library at school, and they see this shit, and they would even go and say, like, what the fuck? That's crazy, right? And as time went on, the move, I felt it became a move that everyone now does on the independent circuit. And above, what makes it even worse, will put more salt in the wound, it gets a near fall. Which to me is like, no, the Canadian Destroyer should not be used for a near fall, should not be used for a setup move. Impact Wrestling, please, I beg you on this. Put some respect back on the Canadian Destroyer, in my honest opinion. At the same time, too, it was funny because when the match even started, people were singing the Canadian National Anthem as PD came out to the ring. And this is just me. I guess you could say it's a little nostalgia, all the fuck you want. A part of me wishes they could bring back Team Canada. Granted, yes, Bobby Roode and Eric Young aren't there anymore. They're in WWE. You still have A1, what have you, right? But in some way, reform a new version of Team Canada. Why the fuck not? It could work, in my honest opinion. But we'll see how that goes down the road. We get an interview after this by Ali and Kiera Hogan backstage to talk about how, essentially here, how Ali wants to get her hands on Su Yung. How Tessa Blanchard thinks this is for the championship, and Ali doesn't want the title shot. She wants to get revenge on Su Yung for what she did to Rosemary, to Madison Rayne. It could even be a non-title match, right? A non-title match for the fuck of it, right? And now you all know last week, Ali pinned Su Yung, which I didn't agree with. I felt like Su Yung should have got the pin on someone like Kiera Hogan, right? But nonetheless, that's what happened. And then Kiera Hogan, for some reason, opened her mouth and said that, hey, you know, if Tessa Blanchard wants to come out or the bridesmaid want to come out, then she'll get involved for no reason whatsoever. I get it. Hey, it's her friend. She's backing up her friend. That's fine and dandy. But you already know my stance on Kiera Hogan. I said it before and I'll say it again. To me, she is someone that's not, in my honest opinion, ready for TV yet. To me, she's someone that should still be wrestling on the indie circuit, if you ask me. But again, next week we're getting Ali versus Su Yung. It's going to be probably a non-title match, but anything can happen, right? From there, we get a promo as well, backstage from Pentagon Jr. talking about his match with Matt Sydal. He talked about how one time they were both champions at the same time. Matt Sydal was the X Division champion, Pentagon Jr. was the world champion, and how Matt Sydal talks about Cosmos and the third eye, but Pentagon Jr. has zero fear. Awesome, cool. From there, we get another match, get a knockouts match between Alicia Edward, the wife of Eddie Edward, versus Tessa Blanchard. Tessa was very dominant at the beginning of the match. There was a moment where I guess she goes to take a tackle or do a move where Alicia was on the bottom rope and she misses, and literally Tessa Blanchard hits her part of her spine or part of her rib cage area on the bottom rope. And Don Callis made this mention how the ropes are this metal or cable, right? They're metal cables, whatever, and how it can hurt you and stuff like that. Which she sold $1 million. But it was all said and done, Tessa Blanchard got the win after hitting the Hammerlock DDT. What I liked about this match at the same time, that Tessa Blanchard, even Alicia to her own extent too, they slowed it down. They didn't rush anything. They kept it at a pace, which I enjoyed. Because I said this last week about Tessa Blanchard. I feel like at times she rushes everything. Slow down. And she did, which was great to see. And then after that, she got on the mic. She talked about how Ali has everyone fooled, but she doesn't have her fooled, that being Tessa Blanchard. How she knows Ali wants a shot at the knockout title. And if that's the case, right, then Tessa Blanchard will go after Ali. So essentially, you're building up that program. You might add Tessa Blanchard into the mix. I said it before, I'll say it again. To me, you should not take the belt off Su Yung, and not anytime soon. Let her hold on to this belt for a long time. Maybe until Bound for Glory. Who the fuck knows? But I think at this point in juncture, to keep the belt on Su Yung is the right move to do. You can add Tessa Blanchard, add her to the mix at this point in juncture. Because when you think about it right now, too, when you think about it right now, there really isn't that much knockouts in Impact Wrestling right now. Granted, yeah, Madison Rayne doing the Mayan Classic on WWE. Should be back probably real soon. You have Rosemary, who's in a casket right now. You have Ali. You have Kiera Hogan, who's whatever, if you ask me. You have that Shotzi girl who only saw once or twice on Impact. Again, it's whatever to me. And then you have Tessa Blanchard, right? right now. There's probably more. I'm forgetting. It's early as all shit right now. I just came back from work. So my mind right now really isn't, if you get what I'm trying to say with that. But I just wish they add more knockouts, and we'll see how that goes as well. From there, we get, if I'm correct here in my notes, we get Grado apparently upset what happened last week about how there's misunderstanding. As you all know, last week it was Grado and Joe Hendry versus Eli Drake and one of the members of the Cult of Lee, and how I guess Joe Hendry was, I guess, hugging Katrina, who's the girlfriend of Grado, and how it's all misunderstanding, and how Joe Hendry, when they were young, was always in support of Grado having his back, and how next week it'll be Joe Hendry versus Grado again. My bad, Joe Hendry versus Eli Drake again. I said it before and I'll say it again. To me, they're wasting Eli Drake. They're wasting his talent. This guy deserves so much better, but instead we're keeping him in this fucking ridiculous program. To me, Grado, just like Kira Hogan, doesn't even belong on TV right now, in my honest opinion. But hey, it is what it is. After this backstage, we get KM. He doesn't follow off what happened last week. As they argue, Scarlett Bordeaux walks up and tells them that they're looking good. And Bada says bah, and Cam says thoughts exactly. Also, we find out that Scarlett Bordeaux will have her own show next week, it looks like. So starting next week, it looks like. So apparently, they did this whole skit where, I guess, the creative team or management were yelling at some guy for showing up to the office, but when Scarlett showed up, oh, it's a whole different story because she's a girl, right? And I talked about how she feels like the knockouts in the knockouts division right now aren't, they have something against her, right? Hot shaming, what have you. And these guys are just melting over Scarlett Bordeaux. Of course they are. Why the fuck not? Even fucking Bobo. Bobo now became a character on the show where he's literally the lapdog of Scarlett Bordeaux, carrying her bags and stuff like that. Funny all you want. So it turns out that she's going to have her own talk show. The Smoke Show, if you will. Which I look forward to seeing. Again, listen, something about Scarlett Bordeaux. I said this last week. I stand corrected. I said when she debuted that she wasn't going to move the fucking needle. And I stand corrected. I think someone like Scarlett Bordeaux, and I don't want to be repetitive with this shit, but I am for the sake of this video. Someone like her right now is a game changer. Now, I'm not saying that her in-ring ability is gold, because it's not. But it doesn't matter at this point in juncture. Right now, she's a character. At a time where every woman wants to be a wrestler, and this Me Too movement, and being conservative, and, all that stuff. Here's Scarlett Bordeaux again, being the complete opposite. And you can have that. I mean, eventually, will Scarlett Bordeaux get in the ring? I think people will anticipate that. I think that'll be the build eventually down the road. But they're going to make you wait for it. Make you wait for it, and make you want to watch every single time she comes out there. Why the fuck not? And if it's anything like, Fact of Life, why the hell not? It should be fun. Maybe she'll interview knockouts. Maybe she'll interview former champions. We'll fucking see. It should be a very, very fun show. The Smoke Show. And if you add Bobo as a character, again, just for the sake of him being a fucking character, why the fuck not? After this, we get Pentagon Jr. versus Matt Sydal. I thought it was a very, very fun match. This crazy back and forth. Near falls here. People were chanting at one moment, zero fear, right? Zero fear for Pentagon Jr. Then out of nowhere, people were cheering for Matt Sydal. People were saying, you can't beat him to Matt Sydal, as he can't beat Pentagon Jr. But eventually, they were all saying, yes, he can. So the fans were 50-50 in this match, which I thought was great as well. These two guys, I'm pretty sure they wrestled before on the indie circuit, whether it's PWG or something like that. I haven't seen it, to be honest, but the fact these two guys went out there, I feel like there could be more, somewhere down the road. You know what I mean? Now, Matt Sydal, I think it looks like, again, I could be wrong on this. It looks like he's moving up to the world title scene, which is great, if you ask me. I think, honestly, him moving up to the world title scene is a good move. Him having good matches, why the hell not? Another match I'd love to see somewhere down the road is him and Eddie Edwards. Why the fuck not? But we'll see how that goes, too. But again, this match was a good match. It was, again, just near falls here. And with all said and done, Pentagon Jr. got the win after hitting the package pile driver. And then they put a camera on OVE backstage, how Sami Callihan is still feeling like people are still making fun of him. Not only him, but the people in OVE online and stuff like that. So he wants one of the members of OVE to shave his head, just like Sami Callihan did. And they were debating, and it turned out that Dave Chris had to shave off his head. To make matters even worse, his own brother shaved his head. So imagine your own relative shaving your own head because you're being forced to and shit. Like, you imagine if my brother were to fucking shave off my man bun. Like, fuck that. Hell no. But you kind of get the idea here, right? And it's crazy because, again, it shows you the allegiance that these two guys have for Sami Callihan and for OVE and the family and stuff like that. This story isn't over yet. From what it looks like somewhere down the road we'll get another match between Pentagon and Sami Callihan. We all know how great it was at Summiversary, so why the fuck not? But we find out that next week it's gonna be Ray Phoenix. It'll be Phoenix versus Sami Callihan in a one-on-one match. Should be a fun match if you ask me. Why the fuck not? After this, we get again the whole idea of Scott having her smoke show, which is great. We also had an interview backstage with Austin Aries talking about Eddie Edwards, how he's crazy, how he's insane, but how he wants to face the old Eddie Edwards, the Eddie Edwards that was a former Activision champion, former world champion, former tag team champion, the only North American to win the GHC heavyweight championship in Pro Wrestling Noah. So that's the Eddie he wants to face, not this crazy lunatic out there Eddie Edwards. But it doesn't matter because Austin Aries has a plan. He's gonna find a way to come out on top. So there you go with that. After this, we get the segment with Santana and Ortiz, and they're both beat up after the brawl from earlier. And Conan said that Slammiversary, they defeated the OGs, but they still don't have the titles. Conan wants the OGs out there now. King and the OG, they appear in the balcony, and Conan calls King a walking, talking glory hole, which people were chanting glory hole and shit, right? King says that they won the battle, but not the war. And the King challenged LAX to a match again. And Conan agrees. So it looks like, right? It looks like from all of this, the match will take place next week. Now, apparently, from what they're saying on the advertisement here, right, on Twitter, it's not going to be in a ring. It's going to be in the streets. Now, if Impact Wrestling can pull off something similar to what they did with, I want to say, the Final Deletion, Deleter Decay, something to those effects, it should be fun. It should be fun to watch. You know what I mean? Like I said before, I've been enjoying the build between LAX and the OGs. I think it's one of the best things happening right now in that tag team division. At the same time, though, what I would have done differently, and I hate being repetitive with this shit. I know I'm being repetitive with this shit. I would have just switched the leaders around. But nonetheless, it looks like it not only be LAX, but it might be King as well involved in this match as Conan. So, why the hell not? It should be fun. But again, I honestly hope they can go out of, balls out with this in production value, stuff like that. So we'll see how that goes as well. And then after this, we get a promo from Jimmy Jacob talking about what happened last week with Johnny Impact punching him in the face, how he claimed to be a nice guy, how he's a nice guy, how he apparently saying that Johnny Impact wants the monster, that being Congo Kong. Remember, a couple months ago, Congo Kong took out Johnny Impact, but now Johnny wants the monster again. He wants Congo Kong, and Jimmy talking about the monster. But next week, he will face the monster, as Johnny Impact wants. But the monster is Jimmy Jacobs. Now, I'm all in favor of seeing Jimmy Jacobs back in the ring. Why the hell not? We'll see how this goes. It's probably a little twist to the storyline, but we'll see. It should be fun. Johnny Impact versus the monster, that case being Jimmy Jacobs, the zombie princess. So why the fuck not? Then we get the main event. We get Eddie Edwards versus Austin Aries for the world title. This match was insane. This match was funny. It was crazy. It has moments. Crazy stuff, back and forth. Just Eddie Edwards being a lunatic here. They reference the fact how, again, Eddie Edwards was a former champion, X Division champion, Impact World champion, tag team champion, the only North American to win the GHC Heavyweight Championship in Pro Wrestling Noah in Japan. All that, right? A very decorative performer. But now it's like he's insane. He's a lunatic. Doesn't fucking wrestle in gear no more. He wrestles in blue jeans, Chuck Taylor's in a fucking tank top, right? And the fucking kendo stick that Tommy Dreamer gave him on his anniversary. And all that, right? And just, again, a crazy back and forth match. There are moments where Aries tried to get himself disqualified, right? But not Tommy Dreamer, but Eddie Edwards eventually, hit him with the kendo stick, low blow at Aries. There's a moment where, again, the referee was knocked out. Because, again, in every championship match, you have to have a fucking ref bump. Why the fuck not? Did I agree with it? No, but hey, it is what it is, right, with the ref bump. I feel like the longest ref bump I've ever fucking seen, by the way. So, the referee takes a bump. Eddie goes for I want to say the double arm DDT, which is the finisher now, I guess. And he has to move 1, 2, 3. There's no referee, though, right? So, essentially, Eddie won the championship, but there's no referee. He goes for the kendo stick and starts hitting the referee with the fucking kendo stick. Yeah, I thought it was funny. I thought, honestly, that shit was funny as all hell. But other than that, Austin Aries had a backup plan. Because out of nowhere, in came Killer Kross. As you all remember last week, I didn't mention this in the review last week, but Killer Kross took out Anthony Corelli, Santino Marella, at the end of Impact. And you remember, Corelli had an issue with Aries with the low blow. So in this case, Killer Kross comes out, attacks Eddie Edwards, and it makes Austin Aries to get the pin for the 1, 2, 3. So essentially, Austin Aries had a backup plan for this crazy lunatic Eddie Edwards. And survived. And still is the Impact World Champion. That being said, you're starting out this allegiance between Austin Aries and Killer Kross. People were calling him Diesel. I can understand why. But nonetheless, I thought the match was a very good match, despite the ending and all that stuff. I thought Impact, honestly, was a solid show. Consistent once again, with 2 great matches that you guys should go out of your way and watch. Go out of your way and watch these 2 matches whenever you get a chance. Between Austin Aries and Eddie Edwards, and Pentagon Jr. and Matt Sydal. Why the fuck not? But that's my opinion. As always, I want to hear from you in the commenters below. Your thoughts on Impact. Did you like this show? Did you not like the show? Let me know on Twitter at HeelSteven. All that fun stuff. This Sunday, I'm doing a Q&A down below. In the description box, there's a link to the video where I announced the Q&A. Send your questions there. 3 questions per person. Ask me whatever you want. I'll do the Q&A this Sunday. It'll probably be a live stream. I'm not sure yet. We'll wait and see. That's all for me, guys. I'll see you all later. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Until next time with the flowers. It's me. It's Steve. It's wrestling and whatever. I'm out, y'all. Peace out, mother flowers.